This is our second day on our ride to Mount Augustus. We've camped just short of Murchison and we'll head to Mount Augustus this evening. We pulled camp about an hour or two before Murchison so that we could set up camp and sleep safely for the night rather than running into wildlife and livestock. You need to be across the weather because if it rains, the roads turn to mud, or worse, mud baths. You slip and you hurt yourself. The first morning saw a lot of condensation. It was very cold, but not icy cold. We managed to get up and have breakfast. The sleeping setup's important. You can see from these pictures that getting wet wouldn't be much fun. This is my setup. I'm pretty happy. It's a great way to start the day. The sun shines out of JP. We have a great morning, although I put a wet log on the fire, I think. This is Chris. This is the reason he brings his sidecar. He's got all that gear. Never go hungry on a trip like this. We look after Chris. You never know when you're going to need some tucker. This is Chris as well. Chris is happy. Can't understand why. Anyone from Australia will know that label. Anyway, he's had a good morning. His mate's made him a cup of coffee. There's always a few yarns around the campfire in the morning as well as in the evening. We've got a protocol that we follow, which is we take our tins with us. We don't leave any rubbish behind, and that's just standard practice. We let the condensation dry off the tents or burn off the tents with a little bit of sunlight, and we warm up the motorbikes before we pack everything on them so that you don't end up needing to find your key that you've left in your tent after it's all packed up. Finally, we're on the road, and it's not long before we hit Murchison. Murchison is a little roadhouse settlement with some campgrounds. There's some blacktop all the way to Murchison on this route. Otherwise, you can get there, you're in gravel. A few big rivers, so you've got to be careful about floods that go through there because you get stranded very quickly. One of the giveaways about being in the Outback is the Royal Flying Doctor Service. These airstrips are set up on blacktop with the road cleared around them and the shoulder cleared around them so emergency vehicles can help you onto a plane if you need it. These are priceless. Again, really important to the function of the Outback when you're hours and hours away from hospitals. Many of these services are provided by, or support services are provided by volunteers, whether they're in the SES, the ambulance or the fire brigades. We really appreciate their work. It is important. This road shows you that rain can happen anywhere and stay around for a while, and then just up the track, there's no water for miles. Before you know it, a road train comes along and you've got to get off the road, and that way you're a bit safer. Most of them are for stock, but some of them for transporting goods. Anyway, we pull into Murchison Roadhouse. The Murchison Roadhouse is a good little spot, great service again, nice and clean, good facilities. We end up filling up, and this is an important point to remember here. You need a card. You can't actually use your phone to fill up here. So if you have a credit card, you can use that. I'm not sure what happens if you don't have a credit card. I was able to be supported by Chris, who swung me some dough on his card, which I appreciate very much. So a big shout out to Chris. Thanks, mate. And he told me to pay it forward, and I'll let him know what I did after I finish this video and I see him face to face. Anyway, we got to the roadhouse. We ended up having a bit of a look around, always checking the bikes, making sure they're okay, but the facilities here were really good, really clean and quite hospitable. The rammed earth walls pick up the gravel from the landscape, helps it blend in. A local community school works here, so we have kids that show up. This is my fuel, Master's Chock. Love that stuff since primary school. Makes me happy, as you can see. Probably a little bit bigger than I need to be. Anyhow, this is a DR650, kitted up. Some new springs on the front, large tank, 30-litre tank, and hand warmers and bark busters. 650, that one. This 650 is Chris's too. That's number 2, Chris. This is JP, 1100 Africa Twin, with a mudguard that's got a lot of space between the wheel and the mudguard, because when we're on another ride it seized up due to the mud getting stuck. This is a V-Strom 650 set up as a sidecar, and on the way out you can see they're doing a little bit of work around here. It's great. Really have a lot to be happy about if you get to Murchison, especially on one of those wildflower tours. Anyway, we get to the memorial. Lest we forget is the sign. It's a sign that uses the words that pay solemn commemoration to those that have paid sacrifice and served in our forces during war. So we don't forget them. It's amazing that these memorials pop up everywhere. The road status signs are good. They give you an idea of what's going on. Also, the fine print in red is about 1080 in strychnine. And before you know it, it's another 300 kilometres to Gascoyne Junction. Interestingly, in the middle of nowhere, the state flag. Now, we're not typically a bunch of people that fly flags. It's an unfenced road and there's big bullocks on the road. You've got to keep your eyes open because it's going to hurt if you hit one. This is what you call the middle of nowhere. The sign gives you a bit of an indication that you're in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, these 3 blokes are trying to figure out which way to go. Waiting, really. We're all waiting for the people to show up. And then we decide to have lunch in the middle of nowhere. Before you know it, we found the next turn-off. We're up the road again. And it's just great. A few corrugations here and there. That's all right. You know you're in the Outback. The Outback's sort of anywhere that's really, really isolated. Like it's hundreds of kilometres from anywhere. Whereas the bush, well, that's really beyond the city limits. It's a bit of a colloquialism in terms of its application. But you know what? We understand what it means. When you're in the Outback, the skies are clear, there's a lot of dust, and it's just good fun. Occasionally you see a camel or a herd of camels, kangaroos, and all the rest of those sort of things that we make stories about. The BMW that's in this group has a 21-inch front wheel, 1200cc, and that's ridden by Dave. Dave's pretty handy with all his gear. He's well across everything. He's helped another mate of ours out, Steve, recently fit one to his bike. You want to be out with those boys if you're out riding, especially in these locations. This is a floodway or a river that a road that crosses the river. Too far for any infrastructure to be put there. That's a way that most of the rivers are treated in these parts. And often there's 10s or 20s of kilometres between these rivers, but I'm told that having a video that lasts for 6 hours isn't everyone's cup of tea. Of course, if you ride bikes like we do, we'd all love it. Lots of dust, and the weather's drying out. So we give ourselves space between each other. And that means we've got to apply the corner man system. You stop and you don't drive off until the bloke behind you knows that you're turning. That's a really important skill and application that we apply. You can see there's a few corrugations on this road, but when you get going, generally speaking, it's okay. You've got to keep your eyes open around these rivers because often there's water holes, there's a few animals around them. You don't want to go hitting one of those things, any of those things, at speed. It's a long way to get a lift back, if in fact you can get a lift back. It also happens that water turns these roads into mud baths pretty quickly, and you slip everywhere and you're off before you know it, as this shows you. But you pick your line, you make sure you avoid all those hazards, and you keep going. These grids are a bit of fun to go over, but you do need to be careful. But that's riding a motorbike, isn't it, really? You can see some mountains up in the background there. That's where we're heading. It's a long way, but that's why we do it. Again, you just enjoy it. You do need to watch out because sometimes the shadows hide kangaroos and cows. Anyway, we finally get to Mount Augustus Caravan Park. The fuel stop is out the back. It's a beauty, actually. Handwritten signs. I've worked with lots of service stations over the years, and I really like going to see these ones. The new ones are good, but these old ones, take the handwritten note around, pay in the shop, and say good day to the girls for us, will you? That's the sort of thing that happens. This is Mount Augustus. As the sun's going down, we've finally gotten in. It's a good spot. Nice grounds, good caravan park. Lots of cows or whatever the animals are that have had their nuts cut off them. Walk around eating the grass. Good camp facilities. They're good. Very good. You don't park your bike on the grass or you get told off pretty quickly, but that's okay too. This is a shot from the drone and you can see that red dirt. That red dirt gets into your veins. It's beautiful. You actually really, really enjoy it. The more you see it, the more time you spend. Anyway, Mount Augustus on sundown. Beautiful. Anyway, we showed up at the hotel, or the cafe, whatever you call it, and we were expecting some steak. Unfortunately, the cook had his day off, so we ended up with lasagna. Telstra provide free payphone services across the country, which was a program initiated during COVID. It allows people to stay in contact with their loved ones. It's a really good idea. Anyway, we had a great day, and it's going to be a great day tomorrow as we go up the mountain. Time to hit the sack.